Hey guys, Jake from Made for the Range here in Sycamore, Illinois at the headquarters for Sub70. This is their fitting location, which is called the 70. Really cool spot here. We're gonna jump inside because I'm getting a new set of Sub70 irons. So I do have a decision to make between the TCs and the CBs from my friends at Sub70. So we're gonna jump inside, we're gonna talk to Jason, who owns the company, for a little bit. We're also gonna test those TCs versus the CBs, and then we're gonna head over to their build shop and see how they put them together for us. All right, so here in the 70 now, we've got Jason, who is the founder slash owner slash the guy that does a lot of things at Sub70 at this point.
That's fair.
Okay, and we're gonna test the CBs and the TCs. We'll do the TCs next. Just give us a quick run through. So obviously the Sub70 line has such a vast, selection of iron heads, right? The CB and the TC are ones that I get questions a lot because they are very close, but there are some distinct differences I know in the TC compared to the CB.
Yeah, so I'd kind of call them both best of both worlds golf clubs, right? So the CB is designed to have a soft feel, like feedback, workability, flight control, but the center of gravity is low, so there's still forgiveness built into it. So I kind of call it like the best of both worlds sort of golf club. The difference between the TC and the CB is they are meant to be combo setted together. So they're the same sort of family, but the TC is a little more compact, a little less offset, center of gravity not quite as low. So you're gonna get with the TC a little bit more of a blade-ish, heavier ball flight, not as forgiving. Although they're in the same family, so they're closer than further apart, the CB in that family has a little bit more offset, a little bit more forgiveness, slightly larger. So it just leans on that side of having a little bit better result on a miss hit.
Sure. All right, well, let's jump in. We'll hit a few with the CB, then we'll hit a few with the TC, and we'll compare them from there and see what we had.
All right, let's see what the data says.
Oh, we hit a golf ball.
Okay, it's a little more in the center of the face. A little better.
They come off really hot. That was a little bit of miss hit, and it still stayed within, what, 5 yards?
Yeah, for a miss hit, you thinned it just a tad, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if a tad, that might be giving me a little bit too much credit.
That was better. There you go, big boy. That's on the face. Look at that. Look at that. Oh.
It's really hot. Like,
that's how Chris Kirk does it.
For how they feel,
they go.
You don't expect them to be that hot. All right, so we're jumping into the TCs now. You can tell right away, I think the biggest thing visually is the offset difference. Yeah. It's not, physically it's not much, but the difference is noticeable between the two of them.
Like I said, same family, but there's definitely a little bit, there's different attributes to the TC to the CB, especially when you see them kind of firsthand and up close. Like I said, they're interchangeable, but you can see it's a little bit more compact, a little bit more player oriented a little bit, so.
And how many combo sets do you guys think you do with CB in the top and TC in the bottom?
So it's quite a few, and that's the cool part about what we can do. I mean, we got guys adding just 9 in pitching wedge, maybe in the MB, then they're doing TCs, 7, 8, we even guys doing triple combo sets. So a lot, people don't think about it anymore just having one set of clubs. You can kind of use the concept to cover where you're weak, be positive where you're good, meaning you don't need the extra forgiveness with your short irons if that's where you're strong. Sure. And if you want that flight control and a little bit, better feedback, you have the ability to kind of make the set exactly the way you want it. So there's no rules anymore, basically.
Yeah, and that's something that we've talked about previously, but the difference between some DTC brands and you guys is it's a lot more, I call it custom focus. So you can, I'm bringing my own shafts, my own ferrules, my own grips to your guys, and we're just getting heads. And that's something that anybody could do if they call customer service and get them chipped in.
Hit us up. Basically, if you can imagine it, we can pretty much do it.
Yeah, which is super cool, because like you said, you've got guys that'll go pro CBTC in a combo set, or they'll go CBTC MB in a combo set, and that's not something that you can easily do with most other brands, but with you guys, you're like, let's build it that way.
We have guys doing $699 pros on the bottom with hollow body, where let's say they're not as great with mid to long irons, then putting it with a TC for their scoring clubs, and then we would bend loft and lies to make sure that there's not a gap between the two technologies. So there's so many interesting ways people put their clubs together, and I love it because you shouldn't just be married to one style of club through the whole set. Cover yourself and make yourself better where you think you can use those attributes that you have in your game to play better. Sure. Meaning put yourself in the best position possible.
Yeah, it's that idea of treating So, you know, when you get a driver or a fairway hybrid, right, you think about that part of the bag singularly, but a lot of people don't do that with their irons, where we live now in a golf industry that you can think about not even just the sections of your iron set, but almost each iron as its own tool. And how do you optimize that single tool for exactly what you need that one to do, instead of thinking about it as a whole set, which I think is a really cool evolution in the industry, because more and more people are catching on to that. But with you guys, I think it's probably the easiest process to do that, because you don't care what somebody orders. You're going to help them out and make sure it works.
We're custom. If it's a standard set or the craziest idea, we have to build it anyway.
Yeah.
So for us, it's an easy transition of, like, if you can imagine it, we can do it.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into TC then.
All right, see what it looks like.
Oh.
See, I'd probably put you more in the TC with your draw.
Okay.
Generically, right? Because that less offset will help you. I'd flatten it out a little bit. I'd probably go more TC. You got a good enough golf swing, you could play it for sure. But you'll have a little less turn to it in reality.
The question is, could I play it all the way up? That's my worry.
All the way up?
Yeah, like should we go like 4, 5, 6 CB? 7
if you
down?
want to turn more. But those things are still pretty forgiving, man. Like, look at the bottom of that thing, right? Like,
well, and that's what, I think we talked about this before, right? Where the TC CB top line is actually almost flipped of what you would think it is.
Because we made the center of gravity higher on the TC.
On the TC.
So it's a little bit thicker.
Got it.
To get the mass up so it doesn't get up. So it's a little bit, especially like the mid-short, it's a little heavier ball flight.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I think you just do all TCs, to be honest with you. I think you could play them in your long irons. And I think having that versus more offset, even your longer clubs, you got a good enough golf swing where you could definitely play that. And I'm not just saying this to be on the camera portion. Like, watching your game, I'd put you in more of a TC.
Okay.
But I think if we can get a little less miss left.
Well, that's what we're seeing, right? I mean.
Correct. Yes, that's just offset.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more solid, but it also feels like it's ever so slightly more consistent. Like I had a little bit of an overdraw on the first one, but those last two balls landed on top of each other, and they're not going
left as
way
much.
Left. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think it's a better fit for you. You've got
just for less offset.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a little heavier hit.
Okay.
Right. It's going to probably for you go a little bit farther because there's more mass behind the ball. It's just a little bit of a heavier strike. That's a get down.
Well, and that's like just the overcooked draw that I get with anything.
But I would put more TC in there. Speeds up.
Yeah, but
spin rate's great.
Still leaving at 44. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
See, I like that more, even though you thinned it a little bit. I like that as a miss a little bit more than the screaming left. Right?
Well, and like we're calling it a miss, but it was a miss by what? 4 yards?
Yeah. Miss from being flush perfect, right?
Like something like this, you wouldn't expect to be that forgiving.
Yeah, that's why I think that's the right. I think you have a good enough game for that to be played in your mid to long irons, or at least try it. And I think the reduced offset and the more heavy hit from the scoring clubs and middle irons, you'll get more out of it.
Okay.
That would be my gut from just watching your golf swing and your miss.
Okay.
Because basically a lot of times we're trying to stop the big miss, right?
Yeah.
It's a game of misses. I mean, what did Hogan say? Hit one perfect shot a round or something like that, and the rest are all quality misses?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what golf is, right? How good are your misses? And I think when you hit a good one with that, too, it's going to be a good golf shot. But
yeah, I'm not going to get super punished, though.
Looking at your path, I would really try to solve the miss to not go left.
Yeah.
Because in golf course architecture, long left, short right always works better.
It's always way better than long left, yeah.
Correct.
No, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
To go full TCs and then keep working with my golf tech coaches to fix my
Well, and that's the other thing, too, because we have the custom shop here, let's say we try the full TCs and we need to go 4 and 5 in the CB because it's not drawing enough or whatever.
Yeah.
No problem. We just bring the clubs in the shop. We pop the head off. We use the same shaft and grip. Swing weight it up to where you want it at, and it's easy. This is the beauty of being able to do it.
Yeah.
With a shop here in the States and be able to make this work.
Yeah, which I think is a very important distinction between you guys and other DTCs is I can't say that for most of the other ones, right? Like there's a select few there, but I think that is one of the key differences here is like if somebody wants something built, or somebody needs an adjustment, or somebody wants to try something, Sub70 supports that versus saying like, oh, well, you know, blah,
we're
blah,
not going to leave anybody on an island, right? Like if they try a set of clubs from us, we will definitely work with you. Even if they ordered them that way, 'cause it's so important for us that you play better with it, right? It's like our brand in your bag. Like, if you're not playing better, then we're not doing our job. So we've got all kinds of tricks to, like I said, that we can do to kind of solve problems if somebody has one, but we will work with you. So like if we try it, there's always a plan B because we have the custom shop to do the head. So I would say we try it, and you know, if it doesn't work, which I think it will work, we can always put the CB heads on it.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, let's go T season. You think we're gonna go a little flatter probably, and then I'm providing shafts, grips, ferrules, so we'll talk about that with the builder. But
Aaron and Jeff over in Club Building and their crew would kind of work with you, but I would flatten them out probably like a degree to start off with, because you're still going to see the flight as a little draw, right in your head. So we don't want to take the draw completely out. We just want to make it a soft little draw versus missing it hard left.
Yeah, and I'd rather it start right and draw than start left and draw. That's
left
the bigger
and draw
issue.
is bad.
Yeah, because that's been my miss. Like this past year, that was my miss on everything. If it went left, it kept going left. But if I had a nice little push, it usually pushed the draw out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's trying to, as good as your swing is, for you to score your best with the draw, it's not 1-9 having that shot all of a sudden cost you a double. Right, where it's the left of left, and those usually go longer with less spin. Yeah. And you're screaming, get down. And of course, we both play small greens, penalizing. You know, it's old school. So long is sort of penalized, short you can play from.
Absolutely.
So also kind of looking where I know you're playing, I know that course, to set the sticks up to kind of get the best out of that too.
Awesome. All right, well, we're gonna run over to the build shop, talk to the guys over there. I think we're gonna meet up with Jay over there as well, and we're gonna do some fun stuff on the laser.
Logos are going in?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do some stuff on the laser. So we'll meet you guys over there. All right, so now we're over at Sub70's build shop facility. So this is one of the biggest differentiators for me between Sub70 and other DTC brands, is that everything here is done with a one bench approach. So a builder, a true custom builder, is gonna put your entire set together. We also had the benefit of messing with some custom stuff, so you can see some B-roll of these as I throw it up, but we did a little bucket logo laser engraved on the TC heads, which we're gonna do on all of the heads throughout the set, which is a nice little touch and also very nice of them to do for me here. I can't wait to see these in a bag. That's gonna look sick. And then Aaron here is gonna build up the whole set. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about tolerances, the one builder approach, which I think is very different, obviously, than the majority of DTC. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that the clubs are pre-made and all they're doing is selecting your spec off of a shelf and then shipping that out. But here, you guys are gonna go through the entire process. So walk us through just a small overview of your process, how a club gets built, and then we're going to show that process for everybody as well.
Yeah, so we get the order, we grab every single thing individually, so every shaft, grip, head, we cut you, we bend every single one, whether it's standard, one up, three upright, anything, just to make sure it's exactly what you want, and then we glue it and ship it out to you after it's gripped.
Yeah, and the beauty of having a warehouse full of stock components rather than stock builds is we were also talking, Jason mentioned weight sorting. So if you're struggling with the swing weight as a builder, or if somebody just likes a lighter head or a heavier head within tolerances of how the heads come out, you can go back there and they can individually pick and they can sort your order for the heads that you want or the preference that you have, whether it's an actual swing weight thing for the build or whether it's just a preference that player has.
If it's just a light, if you just want a lighter head, we'll search through our entire inventory to find the head that you want.
Awesome. And then how many clubs are you usually building a day? If you have a full day, how many clubs are you building?
Well, it's hard to say, but probably in the summer, probably about 75 orders a day.
Awesome. 75 orders. Awesome.
Yeah, orders.
So that's a combination of sets, individuals,
maybe a couple wedges here and there.
Sure.
So
awesome. What is your part of the build process that you like the most or that you geek out about the most? Because I know mine is, I've gotten really weird with grips. So like the ability to mess with the grip a little bit has been super interesting to me. But I know everybody, every time I ask that question, everybody has that one part of the build that they get like really geeky on.
Yeah, gripping's definitely up there because we have so many options here at Sub70. Swing weighting's always kind of something a little bit exciting because it's, you know, you don't do it for every single order, but if you request it, we do. And sometimes it's kind of a challenge to get there, but if we can find a way, then that's kind of fun to figure that out.
Awesome. All right, well, I have some Acura iSteel Reds. We've got some BB Nefco Ferrels, as well as some Super Stroke S-Techs that we're gonna throw into these TCs. The other cool thing, just as I mentioned there, is this is something that anybody can do. So if you call the customer service team at Sub70 and you get a hold of the guys over there, if you know a head that you want and you know the components that you wanna build that head with, you can ship your components into them, or they can order them through their suppliers. You can get everything into the build shop, and then you can have a 100% custom set of irons or whatever other clubs you want from them built for you. So this is not something that you're limited to the stock options. Obviously Sub70 has a ton of stock options and they have so many heads to choose from, but you can even go past that into the catalog of pretty much anybody you want and get some custom components, because Acura I-Series Red is not something I think readily stocked for demos of Sub70, but obviously with True Timber being one of the sponsors for Made It for Range, I wanted to try these out, and there was nothing better than to put them in the TC heads. So we're gonna let Aaron do his thing now. We'll follow him around a little bit, show the process, and then in a few-ish weeks, you can see there's a lot of clubs around here that are gonna get built before mine do, but in a few-ish weeks, we'll come back, pick them up, and I'll do an unboxing to show you guys the final product.